News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Waking up to your house on fire. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It's Friday. Congratulations, you made it. It's January 30th, 2015. We have dense fog in the Missoula area right now and 19 degrees. At least it's dense on the south part of Reserve Street right now. Our newscast sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. Call 777-5387. Missoula homeowner Russ Beelan had a disturbing wake-up call yesterday morning when he was greeted by the smell of his own home on Fairview Street on fire.
Woke up this morning, dogs are barking, seemed kind of strange. All of a sudden I heard a fire alarm go off, opened up my bedroom door. It was engulfed in smoke outside there. I closed the door immediately, got my wife and my dogs out. From there I just tried to dump a bunch of water as much as I could on anything I could, and it just wasn't happening.
Missoula Fire Department Assistant Chief Jeff Brandt describes what happened when fire crews got to the blaze.
We had a pretty significant house fire. Crews arrived on scene, and the house was fully involved in fire. Knocked down that initially and verified there was no one else in the structure, but we've had probably 4 to 5 hours of trying to get all the fire and smoke out of the building and structure and doing overhaul.
No humans were injured, but Beelan says a cat and a chinchilla were killed. The fire department estimates the damage at over $10,000. Federal prosecutors have responded to a Montana woman's motion to appeal her conviction for pushing her newlywed husband to his death from a cliff in Glacier Park in July of 2013. Jordan Graham of Kalispell pleaded guilty to second-degree murder just before closing arguments were to be held in her December 2013 trial. A judge rejected her motion to withdraw her guilty plea after she argued that the government's request for a life sentence was an attempt to punish her for first-degree murder for the death of her husband, Cody Lee Johnson. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Defense attorneys filed an appeal in October seeking a new trial on a manslaughter charge. Prosecutors noted the judge told Graham that a life sentence was a possibility, according to the Flathead Beacon. Yesterday, White House Deputy Press Secretary Eric Schultz explained, or Tuesday rather, that the White House prefers to describe the Taliban as an armed insurgency rather than a terrorist organization. In response, Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke, the former Navy SEAL, described the administration's new position as delusional.
And they're absolutely delusional. Remember 9/11? Remember it was Al-Qaeda and Taliban? Remember that we fought in Afghanistan and still fight today against Taliban? Remember that Gitmo is filled with Taliban warriors, and yet this administration insists on trading and negotiating with terrorists.
Zinke sees the latest flap as further evidence of a failed foreign policy worthy of a Saturday Night Live skit.
We can't show up at a rally of support and yet send John Kerry late with James Taylor singing a song. I mean, that's our foreign policy? It's absolutely atrocious, and this is one reason why our enemies no longer fear us. Our allies don't trust us. Certainly this administration must, should, and better do a lot better.
Zinke was in Helena yesterday speaking with legislators. A Colstrip lawmaker proposes taking $350 million out of the state's rainy day fund over the next 10 years to reduce income taxes. Republican Senator Dwayne Ankney introduced the bill in the Senate Taxation Committee yesterday. He says the money held by the state for unforeseen expenses belongs to Montana citizens. However, Montana Budget and Policy Center co-director Heather O'Loughlin opposes the bill, saying it's unfair to low-income workers. The bill is estimated to cost the state about $70 million a year starting in 2017. According to a report by the University of Montana, the state of Montana's tourism industry is strong. Institute for Tourism and Recreation Research Director Norman Nickerson says 2014 was a record year for tourism dollars.
What we're seeing is that the tourism industry is, in terms of the spending, has been going up, and it is the highest that we've ever seen. 3.9, almost $4 billion that's dropped directly in this state from non-residents coming in. This has nothing to do with all of us who travel around our own state.
Nickerson predicts that 2015 will be even better.
Nationally, they're saying that the domestic travel within the country will go up at least 2%. And we're looking at spending going up 4 to 5%, even more so than it was this past year. So it's producing a nice little economic impact for this state.
Montana tourism dollars peaked in 2007 before heading into a 5-year slump that ended in 2013. Yesterday, Missoula County announced a new Office of Emergency Management Director, Adrienne Beck. She's been working as OEM's deputy director since 2013. It comes with many years of emergency response experience.
Chris Lonsbury, the former director, was offered the opportunity to become the chief operations officer for Missoula County, creating a vacancy within our department. This morning, I met with the commissioners, and it's official. I've been with Missoula County as the Deputy Disaster and Emergency Services Coordinator within the Office of Emergency Management since January of 2013.
Beck says in addition to continuing some of her old duties, many new tasks have evolved from her promotion.
We'll continue to oversee the Disaster and Emergency Services portion of the Office of Emergency Management and function as the DES coordinator in times of disasters or emergencies, but also help facilitate the planning process and manage the emergency operations plans that are currently in place and keep them up to date for the city and the county. And then also will oversee the management of the 911 center here.
Missoula County Commissioner Bill Carey said Beck's expertise and tenure with Missoula County perfectly aligned with the requirements of that new position. Yesterday at the legislature, a bill came forward that would allow judges to be removed from cases if an attorney involved has contributed to that judge's campaign. Republican Representative and attorney Matthew Montmorton says judges may not always be biased by contributions, but people need to be able to trust that their lawyers or their opponent's lawyers don't appear to have an advantage by contributing money.
It isn't just that there is actual impropriety taking place. It is the appearance of impropriety.
Opponents of the bill say the bill could allow lawyers to give money to judicial campaigns in order to avoid that judge. Mark Parker with the State Bar of Montana explained that $35 is all it takes under this bill for a judge to be disqualified from a trial.
I can assure you that there are some people out there that will contribute to the campaign of a judge they don't want, and for $36 get the judge disqualified in their cases.
No immediate action was taken. Finally, a Butte woman wasted no time claiming the $290,000 jackpot from Wednesday's Montana cash drawing. Lottery officials say Julie Mason came to lottery headquarters in Helena yesterday to claim her prize. She bought her winning ticket at Albertsons in Butte. Congratulations. News Talk time now, 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures topping out in the mid to low 40s. Winds will be out of the west-southwest at 3 to 6 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with our lows in the 20s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.